Hello guys, and I'm just going to discuss Helen with you. People have asked several questions about Helen and how to use it, and this will be a split up into shorts as well as one long video. So what is Helen? Helen is the software that controls Hanover destination blinds. It's a very simple program, and the setup that I'm going to show you here is the pretty standard setup that most operators will have and use. There is other ways of doing it, and I will quickly show them as well at some point. So first of all, creating a new route is pretty simple. I'm going to do a, let's say, 216. So you put the route in there. Destination will be 1, and so on. Put 216 Ashton, and then the quickest way is you can do drop from driver's message drop. That will fill most of the information in. Then just OK, that message already exists. That's because I've already got one in there. 5. There we go. And then that's the pretty standard setup sorted. So once you have created that first set of routes, you get this menu here. Now there's two ways of editing this together and making what you want. This is one way. So from here you can click preview. That will bring up this menu, and then you can double click on what you want. Yellow is your top bar, red is your number, blue is your bottom bar. So for this instance we can just do via made up town, and that's what you get at the bottom. Now that is a static blind. Now you can make this a Super X blind by ticking this box here, but because nothing is there, nothing will move, so we can do via made up town and other town. It will go didn't because it can't fit on there, but you super exit, and then you have a scrolling blind. So that's how you do super Xing. You can do flash up here, so you can make whatever parts flash as long as the blind supports it. Older blinds won't. The direction of what you want stuff to do, so you can make that go that way, that go that way, and then you make it do what you want. So something that was asked is, can you invert the blinds? Essentially yes. You just click the invert button and the whole blind will be inverted. You can make it so only part of it is, but I can't remember off the top of my head how to do it. There is easy ways and there's hard ways of doing it, but yes, essentially you can invert a blind and make it do what you want. This is obviously on the LED blinds. Other things you can do from this window is this button here. You can make it any text you want within the Windows frame, so you click on font and you have all the fonts there, or you can use this scroll menu to select a font you want, but not all fonts will work depending on the amount of room that is available. So you have several fonts within the software that you can use, and this is applicable for all. So you just tick auto and then press enter on that. It will automatically make it fit the best it can, but you can select yellow to be a font, blue to be a different font, and red to be another font on top of that. Why? I don't know, but the options are there that you can do that. Instead of Super X mode, you can make it so it flips between pages. So you just click this page button here. You'll automatically be given just a single line. You can use these two to change the type you want. So we go back to this type and do 216 Ashton via the hills. I know it's not got any capitals in it. That will give you a second page on the blind. Once you're done, just press save and exit, and then you'll see in the preview we now have 1 out of 2, and that's how it will appear on the front of the bus. Very simple. When you create a new blind, you can also do it like this. So if we do the 216 again, destination 5, we know 5, 216 Ashton, and then you can select a second page on the driver's menu here. Then you can do via Old Town and via Old Town. Again, drop from driver's message, drop, and it will fill it all in. When you click OK, it will generate the signs and you'll be brought to this box here. Ignore them, and that's how it will look. So that one's got 2 pages there. This has got 1 page because it's all we got, and then you can add the extra pages in from there. You can also click that little Super X box that's here, and that will automatically Super X the blind, but you could also just type in here what you want. Now the next section I ain't going to mess with because it will mess with my program, but if you do options and then sign config, you'll get this screen, which is where you originally set up your blinds. So sign 0 is the blind on the front of the bus, sign 1 is the side, and 2 is the rear, strictly speaking. The type it is external or internal or flip dot, and then the size it is. Let me just cancel that, otherwise it will mess me up. And then the size of the blind, as you could, all the sizes are listed, so that's what you'll get. You could choose the justification, which is left or right, and then that will be where the number appears, and the width and height of that, and any masking you want. These are all the fonts that are available. So next up is bitmap images. They have to be either the same size as the blind or smaller, and they have to be monotone. So you do edit, import bitmap image, and then you can select the one you want, and it's there. Then you can cut it and move it about. So if we do select, it can be a bit funny. Obviously that's made a mess, but it can be a bit strange to do, but you get the picture. Sometimes it doesn't recognise that you have actually done it. So let's see if we've got enough time to do it again. Right, and then now, see how it's got it still behind. So it does mess up sometimes, but that's how you do that. Now, say for instance you wanted a number to appear here against this. What you can do is you can do a new page, select this one, put the number in there, so 111. So there is 111. Go back to page 1, select the message you want, which is that. Use the cut tool, go over to page 2, paste it, and this white box appears. Now you can use the arrow keys to move this white box about. So let's say we'll have it there, and then enter, and it will paste it, and then that's how you get your number with your blind. This blind will disappear as soon as you do save and exit. There you go, so it's just blind 1 of 1, and that's what we have. The next part where you may need to edit things is in console config. On my vehicle we have 2 profiles set up, one for LEDs and one for flip dots. We'll be editing the LED one, so edit profile 0. So 2-line display is what the driver sees. We're doing root browse mode, which is this browsing mode you see here. That's the lock code of the device, which is 0101, and it's in English. The driver will see what is on blind 0. If you do star, which is there, that is what's on in the driver's message. Moving on to the advanced, we have the timed update. If you don't, most don't have the timers fitted, so it won't make a difference. Root browse is what's ticked. Destination browse, you can browse by destination rather than route. Information is the extra page, which I'll cover very shortly. Advertising is again the same, and you can browse by route number instead. Scroll page time is how long it takes for a page to scroll or flip from one to the other. Destinations is a very simple one. Round trip, don't use it. Browse, well, we're going to be using that because we've got route browse configured. Confirm browse is where once you select a number and select the route you want, it'll ask you to confirm it. Simple. Destination size should be 4, just leave that as. This is how long will it stay on the first page, and then after that, every page after the first page, it'll only display that for 1 second in my system, and the first page will display for 2 seconds. And the blank code, if you want to have a code where you can just blank the blind out. I just put mine to idle, and that is a setting. Route number is just confirm browse, that option, which we've covered already. And route number characters, so they are all the characters you can have on the route number. So you can have routes labelled as AB1 or A1, and you will be able to select by scrolling A1. Information, dead simple. You can either hide the information or you show it. It's an extra menu that if you press function, you'll get up route browse. If you press function again, you'll get information browse. All pages on the information display for 1 second. You can change that to what you want, depending on your needs. Advertising, never touched, but it's hidden anyway. That's for if you've got other screens and bits and bobs. Ports. This is what the ports are on the back of the device. Port 0 should be sign. You cannot have more than one port listed as sign, otherwise it gets confused, but you can make it many different things. So GPS and what have you, you can make it many different things so the blind will operate automatically. But most won't have it fitted, so it's just port 0 should be sign. The next major one, that if you want different profiles or you've got more than one sign, or you like we do, we want to switch some signs about, this is where you do it. So none of these are switched, so they're all in the right positions. And it's as simple as that. If I show you the other one, so if I come out of this profile, go to profile 1, which is our flip dot profile, and go into signs, what you'll see here is sign 0 is actually our sign 3, sign 1 is our sign 4, sign 2 is our sign 5, and number 3 is our LED blind. So that is so we don't have to mess about with the settings on the back of the blinds. And that concludes our very basic look into Helen. The last thing to bring up is that when you export it by going to File, Save File Output As, and doing it here, it must be in on the memory stick if you're using a USB DG3 in a folder called Hanover, DB, and in there. If it's not in there, it will not work.